In this video, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about the second whitetail shift. So we're getting into the late season right now. I have about 6 days left to hunt, and so then we get to start scouting. I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos about that and really start getting into that habitat work, so that way we can have a good hunt not only this fall but during the late season as well. And so right now, where I'm at, we don't have a lot of bucks because of that second whitetail shift. So first of all, ag land. If you have fields around you and you don't have a lot of cover, like here in Illinois where I hunt and where I live, there's a lot of fields around, there's not that many trees, and so those deer really have to really find those places. There's not a lot of cover for them, so they're going to find that best place where they can find the best cover during the late season. And so we have a lot of good bucks here. I had a 15-pointer on camera that was using this property that I've been working on for about 4 years now. He used it really consistently during October, and a really nice 9-pointer came through here. I had a lot of bucks this year, way more than last year, but they all left because of the second whitetail shift, and I'm going to tell you why and what I'm going to do to my property to fix that for the years to come. So, like I said, if you're in ag land, you're going to see this whitetail shift, and if you don't have good cover, you're really going to see this whitetail shift, and your food plots as well. So, food is the great just determining factor of where those mature bucks are going to be at during the fall. Does don't really care the cover. I mean, does will do the second whitetail shift, but not like mature bucks will. Some does will stay, and they'll stay at the fall property, but some will go to their winter property, like those mature bucks will. And that's what I've really learned here on this property and a property that I hunt 20 minutes north of here. But really making sure that you have that late season food is the whole name of the game. When it gets into the late season, you really have to have that food when you're getting into that survival period for deer, and especially mature bucks, because the mature bucks lose a lot of their body fat during the rut, and they got to build that all back up before winter comes. And even here in the Midwest, we had -30 temperatures for about 2 days, but still, that's a really cold time for deer, and even up north, this really will apply as well. So you always have to have that really good food for those mature bucks, especially during the winter months when they need it the most to survive, and for those fawns and does and fawns, especially fawns as well. And then number 3 is cover. If you don't have cover on your property, then you're not going to see deer during the late season. So if you're not seeing deer right now, you're in your stand and all you see is coyotes, that's what's really happening on my property. All I'm seeing is coyotes, rabbits and stuff like that, and no deer, because on this property, there's not a lot of natural cover. I'm adding all that cover. There's no conifer trees on this property. I added 94 trees to this property last year that are about 2 feet tall right now. So I added a bunch of trees so that way we can have hopefully a really quality hunt getting into these next couple of seasons, maybe in 4 or 5 years. But really making sure that you have that cover so that way you will have deer here during the late season. And that's why I don't have deer here now. You're going to see them consistently. If you have a good fall property, you'll see them consistent from September through the first week of December. And then after that, you're going to see them just disappear. They're not going to be on your trail cameras. They're not going to be on your property. They're going to be gone. They're going to go to where that their survival period, their survival stage, that survival property for those mature bucks, they're going to go transition to that during the winter. And that's what's happened here, because I don't have quality cover yet, because I'm still upgrading that and I'm still growing that, and that's still going to take a long time to grow. So it's not that it's not that I'm not doing anything about it. I'm doing stuff, but it's just it takes a long time for those trees to grow and for that switchgrass. But those trees are way above the switchgrass level. Switchgrass is good, but it's nothing compared to actual conifer trees and trees in general. That will really give the deer cover. So number 4, improving that. If you're not seeing deer, you need to improve that during the summer and during the spring. You need to be buying trees. That way you can plant them and you'll have a better hunt and a more successful hunt this season. Switchgrass is still really good. I'm not degrading switchgrass because trees are the best. Switchgrass is really good because in 2 years you'll have mature growth. But that's not going to keep the deer. That's not going to give them enough cover to stay on your property unless you plant a lot of switchgrass. But those trees are really going to be the best to make sure that you have cover on your property for the season. So always making sure that you're getting trees and switchgrass. You need a combination of both. So I usually put a line of switchgrass and then that's what I did this year. I put a line of switchgrass and then I put trees behind the switchgrass. So that switchgrass is going to border around the trees. So where there's not a lot of leafy branches like on cedar trees. There's not a lot of green all the way even under the tree. That's what the switchgrass does. It covers under the tree, and then the conifer evergreen up top will keep it, is its own cover. So those switchgrass and cedar trees are really great complements to each other. So make sure you plant those for screens as well. We did that on the food plot, and we're doing that in some bedding areas as well. I planted 94 trees last year in bedding areas, food plots, screens, a bunch of different places. So that way I'll have quality cover here in the next couple of years. So making sure that you're doing that so that way you have a quality cover, you have quality food. That's really important too. Quality cover or quality food is really important too, because you really need that, because those deer lose a lot of their body fat during the rut, and those mature bucks really need it back. So make sure you're having good quality food and good quality cover going into the late season, and make sure you're upgrading that during the spring and summer, and then you'll have a really great successful hunt during the winter and during the late season.